Welcome back to Sunday Night in America. It's one of those statements that makes you do a double take. Could this possibly really be President Biden's first visit to the southern border? Migration, asylum, national security, narcotics trafficking, commerce, all of those issues collide at the southern border, and every one of them has a federal component. Why is the president just now visiting? What changes did the Biden administration announce this week, and what impact, if any, will those changes have? Joining us now is a member of Congress who knows a lot about the border, Texas Congressman Dan Crenshaw. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. You probably can't answer this question any better than I could, but I'm going to ask you anyway. What took the president so long to get to the border?
I don't know. I think he forgot we had one. He forgets a lot of things. He'd made a lot of stops to ice cream shops, though. I think we've counted at least 8 of those. We should have put a Baskin-Robbins on the border. We should have at least more of them. And he'd visit more often. But look, okay, that's the funny reason. The real reason, look, what was it, a month ago? He was in Arizona and he said, look, I got more important things to do than visit the border. Now he knows Republicans are about to take control of the House and hold them accountable for this border crisis. So they're trying to make it seem like they care, make it seem like they're doing something. The other question you asked, what is this going to do? What are these changes going to do? Look, the status quo right now is a disaster. This might be slightly better than the status quo, but not much better. What they're doing is trying to remove the perception of chaos. So they talk about a safe and orderly process, but that still means illegal immigrants coming in and going on this, what might be an unconstitutional parole process. What they've been doing over the last couple of years, we believe, is an unconstitutional parole process. It goes beyond what the law says they can do. Somebody applies for asylum, the law says they're supposed to be detained. And the Biden administration has been, in a way, paroling them, just letting them loose and hoping that they show up for court dates. This has created a magnet for illegal immigration. That is the crux of this entire problem. You have to send people back. Now, President Trump did this by saying you can wait out your asylum claims in Mexico. We consider that a safe third country. Or we set up agreements with our embassies and consulates in your home countries, and you can apply there. Biden is saying 30,000 a month from specific countries. Anyone else who crosses in between points of entry will be immediately deported, which is good. I like that part. But you're kind of moving the ball on us by just letting them in to the tune of 30,000 a month in an orderly fashion, just so you don't get embarrassed through points of entry.
Are the points of entry even set up to accommodate those kinds of numbers? I mean, by points of entry, you mean airports, ports, border crossing stations? What's a port of entry?
Yeah, great question. And truthfully, I don't know. Presumably, he means your typical land crossing points between Texas and Mexico, New Mexico and Mexico, Arizona and Mexico, and California and Mexico. Those typical crossing points, they're always crowded, right? No, they're not. And to answer your question, no, they're not set up for these mass lines of people. I don't exactly know how they plan to do that. It's going to be difficult. Maybe they set up other stations. I don't know. I don't know. They haven't detailed those plans. Again, what they should do is send people back. You need to be spending money on jet fuel. You need to be spending money on jet fuel, and you need to be getting your State Department to work to create agreements with these other countries to take their people back when they come here illegally. You do those things, and you will solve the immigration crisis rather quickly.
All right, Congressman. I think it was right around midnight one night. I couldn't find any sports on television, so I flipped over to C-SPAN, and it looks like they finally have a speaker. So I'm not going to ask you about that. Life's too short. I don't want to go back into that. I do want to ask you, what is the oversight or investigative plan? I think you're on energy and commerce. You may have an interest in Homeland Security as well. What is the oversight plan for Republicans, and what's a realistic expectation for our viewers as to what can be done?
On the Homeland side, on the border, I presume we're still talking about. We've got to go back to the transition team, in my opinion. I want to know what they knew about Trump's border plan, what kind of conversations they had as to why they threw it out, and what they knew about what the consequences would be, and who ordered it. Was it Mayorkas, or was Mayorkas just taking orders from Biden? Those are the first questions we need to answer, because look, we've told Mayorkas to resign. Many of us have called for his impeachment just for dereliction of duty, just for sheer incompetence. But we got to do this right. We're going to get the facts. And those facts begin with him, of course, being deposed under oath and in front of the committee, as well as everyone under him. Again, especially those part of the transition team who saw this policy change take place.
Dan Crenshaw, thank you for joining us for Sunday night. Thank you for your service to our country. I look forward to visiting with you again soon, hopefully.
Thanks, Trey. Always good to be with you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.